For full episodes as they air, listen to Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and blogtalkradio.com/Grants Rants.
Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk.
Lindsay Lohan oddly reacts to Harvey Weinstein's allegations. I can't with Nene leaks. We're still obsessed with Leah Remini's Scientology show. We're talking to CW's Dynasty and getting to the root of this season's problems on OC Housewives. Lexi Stack rejoins the Rants. Let the ranting begin. I'm sitting across from my friend, pop culture enthusiast, and insider, Lexi Stack.
Ooh, hello. How are you?
I figured I'd add insider, mix it up. Well, from Reality Tea and AfterBuzz TV, it's me, it's Grant's Rants. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff on this episode. I'm excited about this one. I get to talk about one of my faves, Lindsay. We're going to talk about her in a second. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things, including my time at the LA Podfest coming up in the second half of this episode. And we're going to talk to Lexi about her time at the Boston Film Festival. So are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. So everybody knows about this Harvey Weinstein, this creep.
And by now you mean 20 years ago?
Yeah, I know. It's like now it's like official.
It's official.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here to break news. That's not what the show is. We are commentating and ranting about things. So, we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss the biggest story in Hollywood right now. I mean, it's so overplayed and on everything, and nothing surprises me. I've worked with some people in the past who probably weren't the most upstanding citizens. I think a lot of people in this business, they say it's a business of D-list students, D students. So sometimes, more often than not, some of the people aren't the brightest bulbs. Nope. How can I say this without getting in trouble?
I think it's important to note it happens everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Every kind of career, anywhere there's power, even when there's not power. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Certain things are coming to light. Yeah. And we'd be lying if we didn't say it was entertaining to see stars go after each other on social media.
Well, yeah.
So that's been entertaining.
It's really erupted through this whole city. I mean, I wasn't shocked, but a lot of people, I guess, who don't work in the business just couldn't believe that this would go on. I always think, shout out to anyone who watched Scream Queens, but season 1, when, what's her name? The blonde, oh God.
Why am I blanking?
Oh my God. Emma Roberts.
Emma
Roberts.
Is it Chanel?
Chanel, yeah. She was talking about like how, we just can't disrespect the good, upstanding citizens of Hollywood. And that made me laugh because it was clearly an industry joke, That a lot of these people who are in these positions of power, not everyone, but a lot of people, are dicks. Yeah. I mean,
it's true. No, and I think for the guys, like, I have to give Clooney some credit because he came out and said, of course there were rumors. We all heard them, but, and I'm paraphrasing. This wasn't his quote, but, he's saying having someone brag about who they've slept with, like, for parts is different than the news that came out. And that I can see. A lot of guys, they'll brag about, oh, I slept with her, I was with this one or that one. That doesn't necessarily mean it was forced and what actually came out.
True.
So I think some people were truly shocked to hear it spun like that.
Yeah. I mean, 30 women are list up to 30. A few claim that they were raped, including Rose McGowan, who accused him. And she says that she told Amazon Studios. Now, Amazon Studios has a deal with the Weinstein Company.
This was wild.
Yeah. I mean, this makes everyone look bad, except for her, of course. The Weinstein Company is working with Amazon on 2 upcoming series. And now they say, according to Amazon, that they're reviewing their options. Which, what does that mean? I mean, to get out of doing it? I mean, what happens to the Weinstein Company? I mean, do we care? Is it so corrupt that it just implodes on itself?
I don't know how they recover. And that is probably sad for anyone that was a good worker.
Totally.
That really just kept their head down and, did their job.
And there are a lot of those people who really they want to work in this business. It's a competitive field. They get a job at a company or a company underneath the Weinstein company.
Who people might have thought would be a dream job.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a shame.
it is a shame.
So Rose McGowan tweeted the head of Amazon, not just Amazon Studios, but the head of Amazon. And she said, this is on Twitter. She said, I told the head of your studio that HW, which we can infer is Harvey Weinstein, raped me over and over. I said it. He said it hadn't been proven. I said I was the proof. She later tweeted, I forcefully begged studio head to do the right thing. I was ignored. Deal was done. Amazon won a dirty Oscar. So
that part confused me.
Yeah.
What did Manchester by the Sea have to do with a script she pitched?
Well, I think this last tweet was just about Manchester by the Sea, but she did reference a project that she did sell that now Amazon isn't moving forward with because she spoke out against Harvey.
Which also not surprising.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, people defending the other powerful people, the Lorne Michaels thing really threw me. No one is ever off limits on SNL. They didn't do one joke on Weinstein, and when he was approached and asked why, he said, oh, well, he's a New Yorker. We wanted to cut him a break. That made me so angry.
Yeah.
They hit everything on that show. And the rumor was, so I don't know if this is true, but it was reported somewhere that they did one joke in dress rehearsal, and there was such a bad reaction, they cut it.
Well, that's easy to say. That's an easy cover to say. Oh, it was a bad joke, so we cut it.
Right. But anyway, sorry to go on a tangent.
No, I
that
didn't
would surprise
know that.
me. So if I'm willing to bet this Saturday there'll be a lot of jokes now that he got bad press.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now it's okay. It's now it's cool.
Exactly. Now it's cool.
Yeah. Well, someone who also ran to his defense was my girl, Lindsay, who has nothing to do with this. She should be happy that she has something to do with this.
Does she even have a team anymore? Why is no one helping her?
I know.
Why, if anything, it's just stay silent or say something that people want to hear.
I know.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. I understand her sentiment that she wished people went to the police and, I guess filed cases versus have it play out in the media.
Wow.
But I almost feel like she kind of missed how it happened, or maybe she came in late to the party.
I think she did. I mean, they claim that he went after a lot of girls in their 20s. So one would think that if Lindsay worked with him, that maybe she would be one, or at least have fallen into an advance or something. But apparently, according to her, she said no. She said in a Instagram or Snapchat video, one of the two, the same thing. She said, I feel very bad for Harvey Weinstein right now. I don't think it's right what's going on with him or with the women who were accused. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's clearly jumping to his defense. But then, she said she had to cover her tracks. She even said something about how, shame on his wife for not standing behind him. And then she went on to say, she gave a statement to Daily Mail, I don't know why she always goes to Daily Mail. Like, I guess that's because that's the European in her.
Yeah, no, she has all those accents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and she had one in the video. One of the videos, one out of the two, there was an accent, which I love. Okay, that's something we played on this show when she did the first one, staying outside the Lohan nightclub.
Yes. Yeah.
We really break out the clips for those hard-hitting moments in time. So she said, I am saddened to hear about the allegations against my former colleague, Harvey Weinstein. As someone who has lived their life in the public eye, I feel that allegations should always be made to the authorities and not played out in the media. Fair,
but it sounds like someone needs a job.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna
exactly.
Stay on his side.
She went on to say, I encourage all women who believe Harvey harmed them to report their experience to the relevant authorities. I hate to say it, but I thought the same thing. I said, you know what? She's banking on maybe this being false. And she's probably banking on the fact that inevitably he will return with another production company.
Yes, and she doesn't.
And then she will have an end because she was so unloyal.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is interesting to think about, Rose McGowan or Kate Beckinsale or everyone that came forward and think about maybe their careers were hindered by passing him up. I don't know.
Angelina, she said that she wouldn't work with him anymore. I mean, it's not her job to out this man, but I mean, she knew who he was.
There's nothing to lose. And honestly, you could be from nowhere and know, there were jokes made at Oscars. There were all the way back. They showed those late night clips.
Yeah, 30 Rock
It was
clips.
just kind of a known thing. And honestly, there are even, Terry Richardson from the photographer from the modeling world is known to have had a lot of, alleged, accusations, and there's books about it, and he's still shooting Vogue covers. And, there are a lot of people that I think we will start to see get called out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm Quentin Tarantino, I'm not coming out with a statement.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after Ben did, and now they're going after him. It's if you know that you have had some shady stories, I would not be making a statement.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay shouldn't have said anything. I mean, she had nothing to do with it.
It sounded
like a move for a job.
Yeah, that, and also I truly believe she didn't read all of the stories before she commented.
Yeah.
She probably thought it was maybe she saw one person or something like that. I think now at the level we're at, I mean, it's like Cosby.
Yeah.
It's just too many.
Yeah, it is. It's too many. And Harvey will be fine. He will create another production company business, and he'll get right back where he was because he has the connections, and the people will work with him.
He doesn't seem worried at all.
No. Look, this last Oscars, Mel Gibson sat there with a fresh young girlfriend on his arm, and they made jokes about him. Or Jimmy Kimmel attempted to try to make some jokes.
We all forgave Rob Lowe very quickly, too.
Yep. And let's not forget the allegations against the president of the United States that are out there too. So these people aren't exactly, ruined by this, which is horrible. I mean, what they need to throw the celebrity away and say, look at the person for who they are and the actions they've done, because it's disgusting and it doesn't change a damn thing. It's like how I feel about gun laws in this country. I'm more angry that nothing will be done than I am about the actual shooting, which is horrendous.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's how I view it. It's like nothing will change. It's terrible.
I really, really hope they make an example out of him, but I don't think so either.
I don't know. Well, someone who's very insensitive, and I'm not a fan of, Nene Leakes. How do you Lexi is a housewife loyalist, which I love about her. So how do Nene's supposed to be very celebrated. Andy Cohen rolls out the carpet for her on Watch What Happens Live. She's the only guest on. Like, she's like, Bravo Supreme, which I just don't follow.
No.
How do you feel about her?
This, to me, is arrogance on another level, maybe an abuse of power on a small level. But you're right. They've treated her like the number one for a while. And was the Uber comment first?
Yes.
I want to say that was first.
So the whole thing is really ugly. But she was at I'm using quotes, a comedy show. I mean, sure.
Didn't know she did stand up.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So a heckler went after her, and according to Nene, the heckler told her to go kill herself, and that lit a switch for her to she calls it a breakdown, and then she told the girl that she really hopes that the Uber driver will rape her on the way home and that he will steal her vagina.
There are no words. That's not a breakdown. I mean, you're
ignorance.
Aware of what you're saying when you're saying it. She thought because she was in, a forum where she was kind of like a comedian that you can say what you want. That's not the case.
Yep.
I mean, even Kathy Griffin, that's not the case. Like, there are limits, and I can't defend her. Like, usually you can be like, well, maybe it's indefensible. And we heard that Escape pulled her from hosting the show, which
has to be awkward.
I would have killed to be a fly on the wall. I know.
Yeah, her co-star on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, for those who don't know, is in Escape, and she tapped her friend to host the tour, which I don't know what that even means. Like, what do you say? Like, ladies and gentlemen, Escape. Like, what do you say?
What was that phone call like? We're pulling you.
Nene. I know a lot of people say she has a very successful career. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, she's. Look, I mean, she's accomplished in her way. She's a household name. She is, but she's a household name for gifts and being loud. And, I mean, that's fine. But I wouldn't classify her as an actress, nor a comedian.
And now someone's getting a little too thirsty.
Yep.
And it's going to bite her. Kim is.
I put this on the Grants Rants Hollywood podcast Facebook group. Like it if you're interested. And I said, someone's fighting hard to get the Sherry Shepherd Award. So I have to give it to you, Nene. I'm awarding you the Sherry Shepherd Award.
Announcing the recipient for the Sherry Shepherd Award for excellence in ignorance.
You're very ignorant to make those comments about someone who, telling them they should get raped. And, this is the thing. You can't cover up this stuff with humor either.
No.
It's really not funny in any case, especially we're looking at how serious this Harvey Weinstein case is being treated around Hollywood. Sexual assault is really, come on. Now, could we be taking it too seriously? Maybe. But the way I'm perceiving it's not right.
Yeah, I think not with the way she said it. Like, I have an inappropriate sense of humor, and there were jokes about, Meryl Streep saying she didn't know about Harvey, like mean jokes that they were like, well, he's not hitting on her or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's still not appropriate, but that's different than wishing someone harm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
she said, I wish that this happens to you. It's not funny.
Ugh. Well, now she's in trouble with Bravo, or at least the production company, because there's a lot going on with Kim, like you alluded to. Let's break it down. So they had a falling out, and Kim Zolciak was on Larry King Now. I was like, wow, what a world we live in when Kim Zolciak is always sitting across from Larry King.
And she's getting exclusive boots. Did you see that?
No.
On Watch What Happens Live, there were boots from, and now I can't think of the designer.
Oh, I saw
all
the boots.
like crystal.
I saw the
Kendall Jenner, like 10 people got them, and she was one of them.
Wow.
Who is she talking to?
Wow, good for her.
Yeah.
Damn, she's got a better team around her than Lindsay. So she said in this interview to Larry King, she said, I probably won't shoot with her again, meaning Nene. So, this is going, and she's hired legal counsel. Though it's beyond the show with this way. It's beyond something they can rehash at the reunion, which is interesting.
Yep. Why would you come for someone's kids?
Using the hashtag KKK and saying the whole family are racist.
Slanderous.
Some of these kids are under 10. Yeah. Most of them.
What if, I don't think Brielle wants to go to college, but what if she did? You can't do that to people.
It's horrendous. Over roaches that were in Nene's house that are this photographic evidence.
Which I thought they were ants.
Are they roaches?
It looked like a queen ant.
Yeah, it did. They were massive.
It was a huge bug, but I didn't think it looked like a roach unless it's a special kind.
There are different types of roaches, as I've learned. Not because I have them.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. No, but I've learned this just by living in LA. And look, they're around in the streets, outside of restaurants at night. It's disgusting. But there are different types of roaches. There are even if you go down to the tropics, there's some different types. There's a red bag. I don't want to get into
maybe that's an Atlanta roach.
Yes. So I think whatever it is, there were several, and it didn't look good. And, she needs to be more worried about that than she needs to be worried about telling women to get attacked.
The video was also confusing to me, though, because Kim's explanation saying either her or Nene or someone put two videos together and then no one would have known, yet they say it's a storyline on the show. It was all...
Yeah, producers wanted the video.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all very weird. But I've been talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think almost for the last 4 episodes straight, if not 3, maybe 1 not in between. But this new season is going to be good because there's a lot coming out. Mm-hmm. I love Atlanta, but I feel it looks... The stuff that's coming out about Kenya, and then of course the Phaedra stuff, and now this and Kim, it's all really ugly stuff though. It's not just typical Real Housewives of Dallas, which is fantastic, and nonsense. This is some serious stuff. There are kids involved, which I don't like. So Nene, you really earned this award this week, my friend. And the roaches, what is going on? Going after a 20-year-old girl, saying the roaches fell out of her stanky cat?
No, oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I hated all of that.
It's really gross.
Yeah, her ego is on another level.
So I don't know if you got a breakdown or what, but you showed out, and
I'm happy
you have a lot of redemption
her.
To do.
I'm glad. Yeah. I think that was good.
For the escape show?
Yeah, they didn't let her get away with it.
At least someone's holding someone accountable.
Yes, for a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah.
Until it blows over.
I wonder what will happen, especially if, I thought about, they're still shooting Atlanta, so maybe they can get away with the next couple episodes not shooting in the same scenes together, but they're all contractually obligated to sit across at that reunion.
Yep.
So
It's gonna be a good one.
it is. I'm really looking forward to it. That's my one show that I allow myself just to enjoy, not to recap, not to talk about. Like, I need one,
Yeah.
And it's on for like 33
And there's
weeks.
always so much to take in.
Yeah.
Like in every season.
Yeah, but I think this is Kenya's last season. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of OC later. I'm dying to get Lexi's thoughts because, man, this season's been a trip. Like, it's kind of like going to like a seminar. Like, how much longer is this going to be? I don't know if that's a good example, but it's
kind of
been,
like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that not that entertaining. But let's talk about Leah Remini. Have you had a chance to look at this Leah Remini and the Scientology and the aftermath?
I am fascinated with this. So I watched all of season 1. I am not up to speed with all of season 2, but I've seen some and read enough about it, and it blows my mind.
It's so good. The second season. Last season, I feel like they profiled different people in their stories. Now they're profiling facets of the church and how people who have left are connected to these facets, whether they were a child in it, climbing up the ladder, how much money they spent, the events. And now this most recent episode, as of the time of recording this show, was about the ranches. And I thought this was going to be like the big ranches they have out in California, but it was really about these like reform schools for these kids who resist Scientology and how they're forced to go to these labor camps, these alleged labor camps, I have to say. But this is what was presented to us on A&E of these people going against their will, literally kicking and screaming, having to be there with, 13, 14 years old, having to build walls
It's
and
horrible.
take water out of streams for bathing that was brown. It's gross.
I mean, I don't even know her, and I'm proud of her.
I know. I love the looks, the nails,
Yes.
the whole thing.
All of it, and what she's putting herself through to go through this and show truth, and I'm all about the truth.
Yep.
So I love it, and I was reading about in that article that they might look at Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah,
Was that
season
it?
3. It's not yet picked up, but they're looking at season 3, and Jehovah's Witnesses seems to be this noise around that she wants to kind of expand, which I'm cool with if it saves lives. Like, I'm all for like helping
Yeah.
people out. I'm just watching for the Scientology thing.
Me too.
I'd be interested enough to peek at the Jehovah's Witness stuff, but I know
not a
it
full
won't hold
yeah.
me like Scientology's holding me.
Which it's weird because at home I knew of it more so than here. The Jehovah's Witness, like
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing here because all
I know,
we hear about is
apparently 8 million
Scientology.
people are Jehovah's Witnesses. Apparently, so I mean, I don't know. I've heard of a few, but I don't know any personally. So then there was all this talk about how Scientology allegedly told people to boycott the Emmys. And this was according to Leah. She said that the church sent out a Facebook message after the telecast congratulating fellow members on the poor ratings. Now, the church denies this like everything else. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Why would they? I mean, Elizabeth Moss is a prime Scientologist.
Yes.
That's someone who's now, has the nation's attention as a successful Scientologist, nominated, her show's nominated in many categories. I don't see the church pushing down that just because they said that they're pushing down the Emmys because Leah won an Emmy for Outstanding Informational Series for the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why they wanted to like downplay it. But I mean, look, she was on the creative Emmys. Elizabeth Moss was on the primetime
Yeah.
Emmys. So, leverage it, and I think that it favors Scientology,
I
honestly.
agree with you. Yeah.
So I would love to see the show get picked up for a third season. I'm
too.
really into it. I actually, for the first time, and some of the stuff is very deep, I actually got emotional in the most recent episode. When they announced with the victims, these kids who are now adults, what they've gone on to do in their lives and how kind of Scientology, somehow got them there because, like, one woman is a grief counselor and
Yeah.
she's like stress relief because of going through such grief growing up. So like it was beautiful to me to see that they've really moved forward and bettered their lives, and they've gotten off drugs, and they've gotten past this, and that they're survivors. I love that. I
Yeah.
mean, the stuff they went through.
It is. It's very
ages.
moving. It
It
is. I mean,
is.
and I think, from season 1 where you saw mainly families ripped apart because of it, it was nice to have that happy ending, in season 2.
I agree. Well, let's take a minute and talk about Dynasty.
I actually kind of like this.
I kind of do too.
It's very soapy, but good.
I tried to get into the original. Now, the original ended when I was born.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of clips and, Joan Collins throwing Crystal over the balcony and all the iconic moments. I love anything over the top. I'm a big soap fan. I hang on to our daytime soaps here in the States, and I'm really into anything over the top. So this was nice to see a show that had modern day opulence, and they really overplayed, which I thought it was great. The 1%.
Yes,
The
that
dynasties.
house. Oh my God,
Yes.
that house was everything.
It was great how they opened it. They were like, dynasties are the modern royalty, and it showed the Kardashians.
I loved
how
Trumps. Topical it was.
Yes,
it was great.
It was great. And they cut to an old clip of the brother and sister growing up, and the brother was playing the old theme on the piano, which was nice. They paid homage to the original just enough, but to keep it original. I liked it. My mom was all bent out of shape with this show, though, because she was loyal to the original. She told me that she would pay money if she had the option to see the next episode. She was addicted to it.
Oh, good.
So, well, not this show, not the CW version, unfortunately, the old one. So she was like, I don't know about this. I said, you're not going to like it. It's not the original. You're very loyal. She's like, well, I don't understand why there aren't originals. Well, John Forsythe died.
Yeah.
The originals are all in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, this
They want
is
a
the
new
CW.
generation,
It's the
right?
they're just not going to cast elderly actors in these roles. They're just not going to do it. I enjoy it. What did you think of it?
I really liked it. Loved all the outfits, loved all the glam, the glitz, and I liked how it really felt, true to today, like we were saying with the Kardashians and the Trump talk, and then everyone was in their silk nudes, and
Yes.
I loved it.
Oh, the outfit, the costuming was wonderful.
It reminded me of I used to like a show called Revenge that no one watched, and
I watched
the
Revenge.
first season and second were amazing.
Totally.
Then it kind of fell off, but this gave me those elements.
I agree.
I can't. What was her name? Victoria.
Victoria, yeah.
I feel like I'm reliving
Racy.
that, but it's racier,
Yeah.
which is nice.
And Jack, the actor who played Jack on Revenge
Yes,
is in this
is
show.
in it. So, yeah, it's kind of
I
giving
don't know
me-
for how long. I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know for how
know.
long he's on this show.
And then there is a new stepmom type figure who I'm very curious to see. Like, I will definitely watch at least another episode or two
Same.
just to see how that story plays out.
Yeah, they had a very strong pilot episode. There was a lot that happened. A lot of these pilot shows can rot, and it can be a lot of exposition and who's related to who. I think they did a great job of balancing, progressing the story, and that we saw characters, almost all the characters, more than twice.
Yep.
Which was great
It kept
for a
my
pilot.
entertainment and attention. I mean, not my entertainment. It kept my attention the whole time, which nowadays is hard. I'm always looking at my phone, and I didn't.
Yeah.
It was good.
The producers of Gossip Girl are behind it, and what the original producers of Dynasty are attached to it. I don't know how involved they are, but they've done a good job with maintaining. I think it was good. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't campy and bad and cheap. I think it was good for the CW. I'm interested.
The CW is killing it. I'm into Riverdale too, big time.
Really, I tried with Riverdale.
So campy, but I like the whole murder aspect.
Oh, I couldn't get past after a while. I thought the dialogue was what did it for me, and I'm surprised. But speaking of Riverdale, that is doing really well, and that got a 2.3 million total households the night that it aired on Wednesday. And then after that comes Dynasty, and Dynasty got half. They got a 1.3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting given who you think is watching Riverdale.
Right.
Because it's not like older people that would want the original.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love the marketing for Dynasty. There's a great billboard at the top of my street here. I get excited when I see it. Like, they had the butler who played on another show on ABC and nobody watched, 666 Park Avenue. He played the old rich guy in that. So it takes a little moment for me to adjust to seeing him as the hired help. But there's a lot going on
There's
with
a
him
lot
too.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the marketing promos they had, at least at the mall, I went to the Beverly Center and they had so much Dynasty and Riverdale back to back promoted on those big big screens, and they had the butler spraying all the windows with champagne bottles. So it was really classy.
That's cool.
You know, it was really over the top. Yeah, and it made it look like he was washing the window in the mall. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was definitely in. I talked about this on the Fall TV podcast back in episode 70. I'm in. If you want to see it, you know, it could use the numbers.
Yeah.
It's on Wednesdays on the CW.
At least, yeah, I'm into at least for a few more. I have a feeling I'll be sucked in.
Yeah, I want to be.
Yeah.
I actually really want to be. And I was hoping I would with Riverdale. I watched 3 episodes. I never drop a series, but I couldn't do it for me.
It's a little cheesy.
Yeah, it was a little much for me.
Yeah.
I miss Revenge. The last season, though, that show needed to go. So I'm hoping this feeds into that. Modern day elegance, money, power, sex, killing.
Me too. Yeah. All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. That's what I expect in a primetime show these days. So yeah, Dynasty, what they do with the opening for Dynasty, and I hope that because the pilot's so much going on, they didn't have the whole opening. But Dynasty is so famous for its large, over-the-top opening with the big music. Like, they need to give it a little something. They had the fade, or like they transitioned into the scene with the old arches they used to have.
Yeah.
But I want them to keep. I love a good opening.
Yeah.
You know? So keep that going. That's my advice to them. So when we come back, we're going to continue to talk with Lexi about Real Housewives of OC. And, if you're checked out, it's cool to listen because we're not going to be recapping anything. You can kind of share in our frustration if you're still watching OC or not. And then we're going to talk about Broken Famous over on the Reels channel. I want to talk about my experience guesting on this show. It was kind of cool. And we're going to talk more about the Boston Film Festival, LA Podfest. So hang out, and we'll be back in a moment.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word.
There are a lot more rants to come.
Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms.
And now, back to the show.
And we're back talking and ranting with Lexi Stack. And we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of OC. I can't tell you how many people in the last couple of weeks have told me they've taken it off their DVR. They've taken it out of rotation. They're no longer watching.
I have not quit on it. I can't, but it's so not up to par.
No.
Not at all.
It's bad this season, to say the least. I don't want to write it off as bad, but there was an article that I read, and it was like, short of Shannon throwing the plate, since then, nothing has happened.
Yeah, and the thing is, even with the Brooks cancer and all of these seasons, the last few seasons seems just 1 ounce of drama that has been strung out for so long. It's nothing new. It's the same stuff. It's kind of stuff we don't care about anymore. Yeah. I mean, we'll always care about Brooks and, that whole thing, and that was disgusting. But I don't know how to explain it. Like, I even feel like Vanderpump Rules, it's every time they have a drink, it's a new drama. So you know what I mean? It keeps it fresh and new. Yeah. And now this whole Eddie thing, I mean.
With every season when it returns after the reunion, at least from my perspective, 9 times out of 10, it was a clean slate when they came back. And they did the montage of, Alexis in the kitchen with her husband. And then they would cut over to Tamra, and she'd be like, making a lunch or whatever. And then they would be like, okay, we're having a summer get together. And then Tamra would wear the evil eye hat, and that would kick off that season. Now they're dragging all this stuff in that, I wish we could really leave behind. Going into New York, I know Luann's whole storyline is going to be about her divorce. But why should that be a storyline? It happened when it was off camera, in between the seasons. Let's move on. You know what I mean? I know that's what's topical, but that's what happened in the past.
Yeah, and for OC, though, it gives me a weird feeling lately. It almost seems as though on their off months, they're saying, oh, what can we talk about, or what is this, what are our angles, or it just seems too, I don't know if it's planned out or what it is. It's stale. I don't know.
I said this on the AfterBuzz after show. Are you distracted by Tamra being, in my opinion, very manipulative and just self-producing?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm interested in the piece of news that I can't think of where we saw it, but where they're saying Tamra was actually the one that asked Kelly on the Ireland bus. Oh, I think Vicky just came out and talked to
Yeah,
E!
she
News.
talked
That's
to
what it was.
E! Yeah.
And she said, Tamra went to Kelly and whispered, has she ever told you this rumor? And Kelly said yes, and that's how this whole thing started. Now, we don't know if that's
rumor
true,
about her husband,
but
yeah.
if it is, seriously?
I know.
And how long since Ireland, and now that's what I mean about it being planned. Like, come on.
Yep, I do not believe that Vicky said anything that bad against Tamra or her husband that would warrant such just venom and hatred and just disgustingness that nobody wants to see. I don't. That's the thing. This country is in a tough spot. I mean, it's a disaster a week. You know, we want to be entertained a little bit, and it's not entertaining to watch these women hate on each other and each other's families.
Well, and then now everything is, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
Then it's, they're about one night out away from like a hate crime, with Lydia and the drag show and this and that. Like, what are these comments? What's happening? I mean,
the Lydia situation
it's getting
isn't
really
working.
weird.
Lydia's situation is not working. Over on Reality T, a writer over there, not me, but a writer said that someone convinced me that this isn't the worst Real Housewives of OC season yet. That's how they open up the article, and it's tough. Like I said, countless people have dropped the show. The ratings still stays pretty steady, though. Believe it or not, I looked at them week to week. They're pretty steady.
Wow.
Vicky walked on Wendy Williams. Did you see this? She wasn't a guest. It was during Hot Topics. The last half, she walked on with like a Kodo insurance tote bag and was like, "Hey, I have cheese or chocolate and wine or whatever." And so they pulled out another chair and they just talked like very informally. And Wendy asked Vicky about the sit down that she had with Tamra, which was the biggest disappointment in like OC history. What did you think?
It was, I'm sure they cut it down, but so quick, pointless. Like,
They said
Tamra
it was
knew.
an hour. They said they
Yeah.
sat for an hour, and we literally got maybe 3 minutes.
It was so quick, so much hype for nothing. And
Nothing.
Tamra already had it planned out. She was going to leave and
Yup.
be angry.
Well, that's what Vicky said. She told Wendy, she said that Tamara came in with an agenda to leave and that they're not in a good place and that it's a big feud. And, we know this. Vicky went on over to E, as you said, and she said that the season is really stuck. She can't get the train out of the station and that she's out of ideas. She's even opened it up to fans to give her ideas to how she can move forward on the show. And she says she has apologized. She has, in all fairness, Vicky has apologized. I don't know what more they want her to do. The rumor, it's to the point where does the rumor about Eddie being gay expire?
I know. Well, but the problem is there is no drama. There's nothing. There's not even an interesting party. I don't care about Deco and Peggy.
Not at
all. I don't care
They're
about
a
Lydia
complete
and
waste of
whatever his
time.
name is. And the thing with Lydia is we go from I can't talk about boob jobs in front of men. I can't. What was the other one? There was something else, but she's very, I don't want to say prudish, but whatever. She's very private and doesn't want to talk about anything, but then can't stop talking about him getting his balls cut off.
Yeah.
So,
She's not good for the show.
Yeah.
She is not good for the show. And for whatever reason, allegedly the producers, she's a get. She is a huge get. I don't know why. Maybe because she fits that young mom category. She has a lot of money to show off. But the mother is cute, 1 or 2 episodes, but we don't need that to be the only thing. The Paris Hilton level money was gross. I'm not watching this for that. That's old school Housewives.
Lately,
to me.
Kelly's making me laugh the most. Like, what is this world?
I'm relieved when Kelly comes on.
I know.
am.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Megyn, a complete waste of time. So while I love when the housewives have many housewives, shout out to Real Housewives of Cheshire, who have, I believe, 9 or 10. I mean, it's like a prison lineup.
Yeah.
The opening is like, woman, 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 woman. It's like, they're all very exotic looking. Love them. Love that show. But, I was very happy for OC because this is the most amount of housewives they've had in the whole 12 seasons of run on the air on Bravo. But you've got 3 duds, so why have a full long cast,
I know.
Lydia, Megyn. Some could even argue that Shannon is a dud this season. I mean, she's bringing down the energy. In all fairness, she's very authentic and she's giving what's really going on in her life. But as far as entertainment value, there's not much in the OC these days.
What was your opinion on Ricky? Did you think that was a setup?
Well, I saw the text message where he was invited and she said he could come.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think it was in a way.
Interesting.
I mean, they all have to sign something to get in the door to be there while cameras are recording.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you came there and, if he really cared about Tamra, he'd say, oh, production's here. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, that's so true.
So, but he was there. He signed. So, yeah, OC.
I don't know. I can only hope it gets better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't give up on it, but I'm not happy.
I love the show. Don't
Yeah.
care for the season. That's
Right.
what I say. So I want to talk about, rarely do I ever really promote anything that I do on the show, but I had the opportunity to be on the show on the Reels channel, gossiping about Tori Spelling. And it's called Broken Famous. It came on Friday, October 13th. It'll be in reruns. And I want to talk a little bit about my experience over there.
Yeah.
What it was like to do one of those shows. It was like an True Hollywood Story setup. There's a little bit of voiceover. They cut to like an industry expert kind of carrying along the story. I shot this in April and it was in Burbank, like by the 5 freeway. Like you'd never expect this nice. It was a nice studio and they were all very professional. And I got like 9-10 pages of size 10 font of all facts, figures, numbers, backstory, things that I
Really?
had to learn and remember. And
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I taped 2 shows. I don't know if the second one is airing, but it's about a former housewife, and I really hope it airs. That would be on. It's not about Broken Famous. That one will be on Famous Feuds. I'll let you know, obviously, if that should come to light. But I haven't seen it any of the marketing, so I wonder if they cut it. I don't know. But as far as this Tori Spelling, this Broken Famous, there was so much stuff, especially about money. And, they reached out to me. This wasn't anything I, pursued, which was nice. So I came in and it was like 2.5 hours. I sat and was just grilled and asked questions. And I thought it was going to be general, like, okay, here's a paragraph that I have here about her daughter's birthday. And they would ask me some questions. But they asked me each individual sentence, basically. And we could put our own spin on it. I'm not going to be anyone's mouthpiece,
Right.
So I came in with my own research and my own POV. I really do like Candy Spelling. I know she's very polarizing to certain people. So I came in with some information of my own. And they really did use it. And I will say I was very happy with the overall. I don't have Reels here. I just can't afford it. So I watched, my mom sent it to me and I watched it. It was kind of cool to see. So
That's
I was
awesome.
kind of happy with it.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
watch it. I'm going
Yeah.
to catch a rerun.
Yeah.
I used to watch True Tori.
Oh, we talk about that. I say it's not a good look. It was not a good look.
but I couldn't turn it off.
I started to watch it. It got almost like OC. It got so dark and,
Yeah.
deep marital problems. And it was like, I almost felt like I shouldn't be watching, And, I didn't want to say a lot. I used the word alleged on that show as I do on this one because I'm very careful. Her kids are young. I don't want to be commenting on, lifestyles and things like that I really don't know. I haven't been a fly on the wall at any of these parties. I've never been on a phone call with her and her mom. I really don't know certain things. So I played it safe and, maybe I could have got a little bit more airtime if I gave them exactly what they wanted. But I think you got to be smart with what you say. You sign a release. Like I was saying about Ricky on OC, you sign a release. You have to own what you say. And this is out there forever. And my name is on it. So I'm like, I was careful, but I think they did it good justice. And, I want to know what people think. I want to know if people look at it. I got some good feedback so far, which has been kind of nice. So yeah, it's just a little something that I wanted to promote.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, check it out if you want. Yeah. So I could tell my mom, I'm like, can tell people back home.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, I gotta be my own everything, my own promoter and everything, I gotta book all these things and edit and promote this show. I'm like, why don't you tell people to look at it?
I mean, I actually watch Reels. I like all the autopsy and all the investigative shows, and I didn't see it. So yeah, I'm gonna look for it now.
Yeah, it'll be on, I'm sure, a million times, or I hope so anyway. So
Yeah.
Tell me about your whole experience at the Boston Film Festival.
So this was exciting. I am from Boston,
Right.
and a friend of mine asked me to do some of their press and social media for the festival. So for me, it was a win-win. I got to go home and see my parents and then do all the things I love. So we got, we had the Instagram, Twitter, all of that going. And it was really a blast. It's such a great event. We had Jonathan Rhys-Meyers came, and it had been a while since he was out in the public. Mm-hmm. So him and his wife and his adorable baby came, and he's in a new movie, Damascus Cover. So that was great. And we also had Olivia Culpo.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of her? She's a model.
She's from Rhode Island, yeah. She'll do a lot of that stuff, yeah.
Oh, that's right. And they just opened that restaurant.
Yeah.
That's there. So what was more exciting was she brought her boyfriend, Danny Amendola, who's a New England Patriot.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes. So he came, and it was funny.
Very Boston, of course.
Right.
Yes.
And it was funny, though, because they had cameras following them around. So rumor, or if I had to guess, would be they're filming some kind of show.
Yeah.
So they were there. She's in a movie called American Satan, which was pretty dark but interesting, and I think that was her first big role. So it was a really, really good time. We had Crash Pad, which had Nina Dobrev and a bunch of people, and I think it's a nice local event that, hopefully I can play a hand in getting it promoted better. And it was a quick trip, 4 days, a whirlwind, but it was such a blast.
That's great, because I know you love that.
I love all that so much. I love live events, red carpet, anything like that. I'm always down for.
Yeah. So would you run their social media accounts?
Yep, their social media accounts, and I assisted a few of the girls with pushing articles out and that sort of thing. And we had good results. We got on TMZ and Daily Mail and all the favorites, just Jared. So it was good. It was really, really fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So what else is new? What else is going on?
Well, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend premiered last night.
Yeah.
I like that show.
Yeah.
It's always in a serious world. It's a nice, quirky, fun show. And they did a play on like an 80s tune called Let's Generalize About Men last night. It was hysterical. Like, if anyone hasn't checked it out, you should. It's on Netflix if you need to binge. But
that's what I did. I binged it on Netflix. I actually have to.
Were you not a fan? It gets better.
No, it was good. It was good. I for whatever reason, I did it on Netflix and never picked it up on the CW. So they lost me in between, which I need. That's my own fault. I need to make the effort to find it. I think I need to get the CW app on my Apple TV, because now that I'm watching Dynasty, I should probably get it, and then I can catch up on this show. Because Crazy Ex-Girlfriend has great
really
reviews.
Good.
That Rachel, is that her name really?
Rachel Bloom, yeah. She does
very talented.
She does everything so talented. They're Broadway stars. It's different. And, they're just they're pushing boundaries, on CW, and great content. And, I think it's going to get better. Even more so. So that was the highlight of my night last night.
Yeah.
Crazy Ex. And then tonight I'm actually going to see My Favorite Murder podcast. Yeah. And I surprisingly have not listened to it, but one of my friends says that I love it. So I'm interested to see if you listen to that, and I don't know, and I'll have to report back.
It's funny because I was not aware of it until a week ago today, because I was at the LA Podfest in downtown LA, and they were there. They did a lot of live shows. They had some instructional meetings, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but then they had real podcasters come in and do live shows, which is my dream for this show. I don't know who would come.
I'll come.
But I would love to just to do that. I think it'd be nothing like live. I think it'd be fun.
So much
But they
fun.
had a great crowd, and these two girls, they do a lot of work. I really wish I knew their names off the top of my head, but they do great work. It's very straightforward. They come in, they each have a crazy murder that they retell to the crowd one at a time. And they, give advice and stuff like that. And it's kind of dark. I mean, these are people who really have died. I mean, we were in the Millennium Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, which is old. And in 2010, America's Got Talent held their auditions there, their regional auditions. And while they were there, someone who auditioned died. Or the wife of this guy died. So they told the whole story.
Way.
Not that long ago.
Oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah. So I was fascinated by that story because it was like, and then the second story they told was about old Hollywood, as old Hollywood producer, and how he ended up dead and how it's unsolved to this day. And it was from like the beginning of Hollywood. So like they'll never find out who really killed him.
Oh, that's very cool.
And like some crazy actress who was in the hospital right before she died admitted to it, but there's like no evidence that she did it. So yeah, it was really kind of neat.
Oh, good. I'm excited because I've only been to Bitch Sesh multiple times live. So I'm excited to see a different kind of show.
I love the podcasting community, and I'm so enthralled, and it has really pushed me even more. I mean, I live to do this show. It's a lot of work, but I love it. But it's really pushed me to do even more. And it was great being at LA Podfest. There were a lot of big podcasters there, but I went mainly for these seminars. They had, people from big podcast networks or smaller sides, or, they would come in from Patreon, and they talked about, a lot of facts and figures, and just the potential for growth in podcasting is unbelievable.
Well, and it seems like everyone supports each other, which is really nice. That's
Some
the
more than
vibe I
others.
get.
Yeah. I've reached out to people who have suggested that I do shows with them because we cover similar stuff, and it's been crickets. So hey, if there's someone listening and you want me to do a cross promotion show with someone, tweet us both. That's how we can be introduced. That's how we can make that connection. Like, do it. I love it. I'm very open to that. I want to shout out the Friends of the Real Housewives podcast. 2 guys, one of them's here in LA, I believe the other is in Chicago, and we're going to do a cross promotion show.
Nice.
They're going to come on my show, I'm going to go on their show, and we're going to have a State of the Housewives, at least on my own show. We're going to kind of go look at some of the cities and give some advice, see what's coming out from production, or, what's going on with Jersey. If you're interested, I am doing my own recap here of Real Housewives of New Jersey and it comes out late Wednesday nights, and it'll be available as bonus content, Grants, Rants, Small Talk. Mm-hmm. But I've been trying to, get the ball rolling with reaching out to people and promoting the show and having them come on here. I think people who know reality TV would make great guests. Why shouldn't we work together?
I think that's a great idea.
So that's really what I got out of it. Also, I learned that, the name of the show is so important to be found because now it's so hard for people to find podcasts. And the shows that do really well, the top 200 shows, those are the ones that are getting promotions. So it's like you got to really hustle to be able to build buzz, which means subscribers. So you have to build those subscribers to be able to get listed. It's not so much about downloads as it is about subscribers. So I want to call on you guys to please tell a friend to subscribe to Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. They can subscribe on Stitcher or on another app. If they have an Android, it still counts. Please subscribe to the show on iTunes and tell people. I mean, it can only help and keep, this show strong and healthy and finding new audiences. And that's really what I'm all about right now, is just continuing to grow, keep the show really strong. So I'm hoping that you'll help me and support me. I mean, I think I've harassed everyone I can in my life to subscribe. So that's all I can ask. So it was really a good festival. I think I would do it again.
Good.
So
we're done. Yeah. Please leave. I'm asking you to leave.
Well, that'll do it for us. I hope you'll continue to support the show and tell your friends, like I said. And anything you want to promote, Lexi?
I am at Lexi Stack across the board. That's Lexie. And that is about it.
Sounds good. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have you on again, of course. Stay tuned. I love you for listening. We'll be back with more rants.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon. Follow us on Twitter @It's Grant's Rants.
Cover art created by Howie Ronay. Voiceover by Aw Yeah. Original theme music composed by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.